Terraria seems pretty simple, right? Fight enemies, kill bosses, get loot, but there's actually a whole lot more to it. I mean, Terraria has thousands of mechanics, and your understanding of the game can change a lot of the way you play. So I'm going to be showing you guys obscure strategies to improve your game. Basic early game strategies all the way to the most outrageous and possibly unnecessary strategies for you to master. Let's get started. Alright, so let me remind you guys about something you probably don't think about, and that is the modifier to your accessory. Most of y'all are wandering around looking for some Hermes boots, some caught in a bottle, and you don't bother with these trash accessories, but the trash accessories could have good modifiers. So let me show you some trash accessories you can make very quickly that just gives you free stats early game to your character. First, we have the white string, which is crafted with just 30 cobwebs at a loom. And if you find a spider biome pretty early on and manage not to die, you can craft as many of these things as you need. Now, unfortunately, you can't stack them, but if you head over to your trusty little dye machine, you can change their colors, which technically makes them different items. That way you could actually stack all 6 at once. You might look like a mummy, but you can have upwards of 24 defense on your first night without any armor, no iron skin potions, and you only needed cobwebs and dye. I think it's worth the trade-off, okay? Next items are watches. Other than telling you the time, they're pretty useless, but crafting one will automatically give you a modifier. That could potentially be good. And you can actually stack them if they're made out of different material. Right now, I have quick on all my watches, and as you can see, it's almost like I have Hermes boots. Next time you get some copper or tin out of a chest, definitely make a watch out of it. I can understand not wanting to make a golden watch, because you want to use the ore, but tin and copper watches? Really?
You're broke!
If your character isn't clanking around as you move, you don't have enough accessories on. And you know, you always have leftover ore sitting around. Fill your empty accessory slots. So, critters are like one of the best ways to collect money early game, but what most people don't know is how to actually sell these guys for the most profit.
Are you serious right now, bro?
So, you see here, the squirrel only sells for 5 silver. Go ahead and take that squirrel, bring him over to your little cooking pot. Go ahead and drop him into the pot and make him into a grilled squirrel. Sorry, buddy. And now you'll notice that the grilled squirrel actually sells for 22 silver. 4 times the amount for the same exact item. And this trick also works for birds. Fucking. What are you looking at? This trick works for birds, penguins, rabbits, and squirrels. So go ahead, catch them up, and turn them into food. And of course, the little crock pot recipe is just 10 iron and 2 wood. Or, of course, you know, you could use lead. So it's something you could definitely have on your day 1. I highly recommend it. So if you spawn into a new world and start walking, you're likely to come across the desert. And inside, you're going to come across these little things called vultures. And as you'll find out, they're not too friendly. Now, if you didn't know, you could spam jump to keep them in the air, which this trick works pretty well. But once the terrain isn't flat anymore, you could run into some problems pretty early on. Instead, go ahead and hit your trees off spawn, and you'll have a chance of getting a fruit. By eating this, you'll gain the well-fed buff, which will allow you to outrun those pesky little vultures off spawn. Haha, sucker. Like, it's such a simple thing, but players are so close to being able to outrun vultures. That little bit of speed bonus from the fruit is all you need. Get yourself a fruit. So this next trick has everything to do with the snow biome. Guys, I'm gonna just say it. The best biome to go to is the snow biome. Other than like how amazingly beautiful this place is, the snow biome just is the best place to go early game. I mean, for starters, you can collect shiver thorn here, which are used in the crafting recipe for danger sense potions. Drink that bad boy up. And they're gonna be real important early game for finding these little traps, especially if you're doing a hardcore run. Another thing to actually note is if you take the pressure plate, you could see the wires, which I know most of you know, but I don't think people really use this enough. I mean, look, I hardly even went down, and there's another trap right here that I probably wouldn't have seen. I didn't mean to stop out. Now, guys, I may be crazy, but it seems to me that spider biomes spawn the most in the snow biome. I don't know if that's an actual fact, but it sure looks like it. I know I'm supposed to be like the dude giving all the information, but like, it didn't say nothing on the wiki, alright? So just take it with a grain of salt, okay? Put some salt on it. But yeah, if that's true, that means you're gonna have a whole lot of cobwebs for white string, and they're actually required in the recipe for the danger sense potions. So this place is perfect. Another great thing about the snow biome is how often penguins spawn. It seems like the devs just cracked up the penguin spawns. Cause I'm telling you, these guys just come non-stop trying to get in my house. Like, no, dude. And look, there's, yep. Y'all here to sing me a Christmas carol?
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish.
But the reason this is so great is because you can actually catch these guys up and turn them into bird food and then sell them. for 20 plus silver a pop. It's a perfect way to start making bank on your first couple days. Animal trafficking, guys, it's a business. It's a business. Get with it. It's good. All right, I'm gonna need all of you to do me a quick favor and just stop going for ore armor. You gotta go and mine for it. It's boring. The stats are worse than other armor you can get without having to mine. I mean, guys, this is ridiculous. Why am I still seeing you guys using copper armor and gold armor? Why? There is a way better alternative to this early game. Now, because I'm in the corruption, I know you guys are probably thinking I'm talking about the shadow armor. But no, I'm not telling you to go for the shadow armor. It is pretty rare, so I don't suggest it necessarily. Let me introduce you to the marble biome. Now, in this biome, you're gonna find these little hoplite dudes, which have a 5% chance... Oh, I gotta go. Which have a 5% chance of dropping their armor when killed. Now, this place is probably even more dangerous than the corruption early game. Maybe I'm wrong. Yup. So you gotta be careful. I recommend just using like a wooden yo-yo to take them out. Or, you know, you could find some lava. Oh, I'm in the lava. In total, the armor gives you 16 defense, which is the same amount as gold armor. But the special thing about gladiator armor is it grants you immunity to knockback, just like the cobalt shield. I don't know about you guys, but this seems a whole lot better than mining up copper early game. I don't want to do all that. Alright, we're just going to get right into the juicy stuff. This trick is going to be for those poor souls who don't have heart statues. And even if you do have heart statues, I think you'll find that this strategy is a lot better. Heart statues kind of suck because you usually only have one. You got to wait for it to build up hearts. And there's a limit to how many hearts can actually spawn. So let me show you an easier method. What you're going to do is you're going to spawn in an Eye of Cthulhu. And by killing this bad boy, he's going to drop a whole bunch of hearts. And what people don't really seem to realize is you could just leave the hearts there. So next time you're fighting a boss that's actually hard, you can just run over and pick up the leftover hearts. And the best part about this is it doesn't seem like there's a limit for how many hearts you could have on the ground. From killing bosses, at least. It's got to be enough to, like, heal you to full, like, 5 times, dude. And it keeps going. There's more there, more there. So yeah, if you have enough lenses, dude, you can craft, like, 16 Eye of Cthulhu summons and just leave them sprinkled around, and basically throughout any fight you can just go and pick them up. Seems kind of broken to me. Alright, this next strategy is how to kill a wyvern early game without really having to fight it. There is a way to actually cheese it. For this trick, you're going to need a star cannon and some stars. Also, make sure you drink up a nice gravity potion. Now, I recommend finding a spot in the sky that's really high up. And what you're going to do is when a wyvern spawns, you're going to hop off. The wyvern will straighten out, and you just shoot straight up, taking him out. Now, if you're doing this at a spot that isn't actually high up enough, that's fine. Once you get to the bottom, you can just flip back around, bring the wyvern back up, flip back down, and repeat the cycle. Trust me, guys, is going to be the safest way to kill a wyvern. Now, if I catch any of you actually fighting a wyvern like this, still, after this video, we're going to have some problems in the comments, guys. I'm actually going to find you. I'm going to come to your house, and what I'm going to do... Alright, this next strategy, I'm gonna be honest. It's a bit of a stretch. But here's the idea. When you break pots in hell, you have a chance of getting hearts out of them. Breaking one can heal you quite a bit. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is if you leave the pots in hell, you can actually break them during the wall flesh fight to heal up. It's a simple thing, but I'm telling you, this can really help you. Especially if you're playing on master mode or hardcore mode. You're gonna want those juicy extra hearts. It's definitely a strategy you should try. But anyways, on to the next one. Now, this trick is going to be the best for hardcore players or people who want to skip the Eye of Cthulhu or Eater Worlds, get better gear, and then go back and kill those bosses. Because the first boss we're actually going to kill is Skeletron. So from fishing up golden crates, you should be able to get the turtle mount. And with this turtle mount, you should be able to move very fast underwater. Then go ahead and buy yourself the mini shark, bring Skeletron to the ocean, and you're good. The turtle mount is going to be more than enough to escape Skeletron, and combined with the fact that his skulls actually slow down while in water, this fight's going to be a breeze. Now, to get him to the ocean, you could make a minecart track. That's what I recommend. And once you get to the end, you just hop right out. Ugh. Unlike a lot of other bosses, he does not actually get enraged when he's not at his spawn point. So this will work perfectly. And once you've killed Skeletron, you enter the dungeon. And you're going to want to look for this little thing called the Water Scepter. The Water Scepter. With this thing, you could shred the Eater Worlds, no problem. This thing just absolutely destroys him. This way, you don't actually have to take the risk when fighting him. You just get a nice free fight. And if you also skip the Eye of Cthulhu, this thing will work just as well on him. So if you're crazy enough, fight Skeletron first with the turtle mount, and get yourself one of these. Oh. Alright, for this next one, I'm going to be showing you guys the best weapon to get pre-hard mode, without question. In terms of how good it is versus how hard it is to get, this is going to be the best weapon. The problem with other weapons you get in the beginning of hard mode is there's always a catch to them. Like, you either got to go fishing, or you got to fight hard mode enemies and farm up, but not for this dude. So, let me introduce you to the Amarok Yo-Yo. This yo-yo has a 1 out of 300% chance to drop from enemies killed in the snow biome. So, what you're going to do is you're going to get some slimy crowns, and you're going to fight King Slime in the snow biome. During the fight, King Slime is going to spawn these little slimy minions, and because you're in the snow biome, they all will have a chance of dropping the Amarok Yo-Yo, meaning you don't actually have to fight hard mode enemies to get this weapon, which doesn't really make sense because you're in hard mode, and now you can get better weapons from killing pre-hard mode enemies. So it's kind of like a loophole in Terraria a little bit. I can't think of a better weapon early hard mode. The Amarok Yo-Yo is definitely going to be your best choice. Alright, let's talk about graveyard biomes. Graveyard biomes have a unique thing called ectomist that allow you to craft some pretty unique things. Sometimes even NPCs can sell unique items when they're in this biome. So the graveyard biome can definitely offer you a few different things. But unfortunately, you gotta make graveyard biomes with graves that are dropped when the player dies. So for hardcore players, graveyard biomes really don't seem to be an option. But something that's very overlooked is NPCs also drop graves when they die. So for this next trick, go and grab your nearest blade, find the nearest NPC. I'm sorry! Kill enough of those guys, and you should have enough graves to actually create a graveyard biome. If you're in need of ectomist, and you're playing hardcore, this is how you're gonna have to do it, man. This is it. Yeah, so if you're gonna go murder all your NPCs, I should probably tell you the benefits of graveyard biomes. The best use I've found for these is crafting boulder traps. Smack those guys in your arena upside down, and they work great for farms. I mean, just check it out on the pirate invasion. Each time a new layer of boulders come down, it's just like a clean sweep of the floor. I mean, these guys stand no chance. And the crafting recipe is just stone, so these things are pretty cheap. Boulder traps also work very well versus the destroyer, if you want to try that out. I mean, bro, just look at this damage. This is just the boulder traps. But let's not forget about the Abigail's flower, which is a summoning item you could find growing as a flower next to graves in a graveyard biome. I mean, this thing is a beast in early game. I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, other than that, I don't really see a use to the graveyard biome for me. So if you don't think it's worth it to murder your NPCs, I don't blame you. But if you're fine with murdering them, you can get some real good items that'll help your run. Alright, so this next one is for all those Goonies who play on Crimson Worlds. I mean, personally, I highly prefer the Corruption. It's just like the OG biome. It offers you things like the Shadow Armor, which the Crimson doesn't. I mean, I don't really know what's attractive about this. And you got these weird goobly gobblies chasing you, like, what the heck? But the one thing you don't have to deal with in the Crimson is worms. Which is great, because if you just want to speedrun some crystals, you can get around this way perfectly fine and safe. I mean, if you're down to play like a little turtle, this is going to be great for you. Now that last trick reminded me of something you should also be doing when you start a new world, and that is finding a cave near your evil biome. I'm telling you guys, the amount of times these caves lead directly to a shadow orb or a crimson heart is crazy. And combined with the fact that you most likely will have bombs from pots within the first 5 minutes, this is just free loot. I mean, here's some examples. I'm just so close to these crystals. And if you didn't know, the first weapon that'll always drop from a crystal is a gun, which means you got the arms dealer if you blow this thing up on day 1. I always like to skip my starting cave and find a cave closer to my evil biome if I can. And even if I do go down a starting cave, I always try to go left or right to find my evil biome, because there's just always a crimson heart or a crystal right there. And you can avoid all danger with your evil biome and just get some free loot. Now, let's talk about the mechanic for a minute. So most people think you can only use her wiring after Skeletron's defeated, but that's not really true. There is a way to make farms early game without needing her at all. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and find yourself a boulder trap. Now, it is important that it is a boulder trap and not a dart trap, because we are going to be collecting the active stone blocks. Now, these blocks are made out of wire and stone, meaning that if you shimmer it, you get wiring back. Unfortunately, you need a wrench to place wiring, but with this wiring, if you combine it with a watch, you can create timers. So go back underground to where there's already wiring set up, place your timer, place down some statues like a slime statue or a bomb statue, and you got a farm early game. Didn't need the mechanic at all, and you're just chilling. Alright guys, I want to talk about the Old Ones Army. This event offers so much, but I feel like it's just so overlooked. I mean, usually you just find the old man like slumped up next to a rock, you help him to his feet, and then you basically never see him again. But guys, this event is good for 2 reasons. 1, the accessories you get, and 2, The armor is busted. The Old One's army drops 4 accessories, each one doing the same thing, offering extra sentries and sentry damage. But many people think the summoning damage is just for the sentries, but that is not true. It is also for your little summoning pets, the normal guys. As you can see, my DPS is 700. Then once I put one of these accessories on, it goes past 1000. Put 2 of these accessories on and damage is not a problem anymore. I mean, you're just gonna be shredding mobs. And of course, the second reason the Old One's army is so great is because the armor. I don't want to go into it too much. I'm not trying to make a documentary here, but let's just take a look at the Squire armor. 27 defense on the chest piece and 18 on the boots. This is comparable to turtle armor. Actually, it is better. And you could buy the Squire armor right after you defeat one mech boss. Like, the hallowed armor is just instantly outclassed. And if you mix and match some of these pieces, you're pushing 100 defense before even fighting 2 of the mech bosses. This armor is crazy. And it's not even like the damage is bad either. It's actually increased. And after killing Golem, the Tavern Keeper is going to sell the Valhalla Knight set. And let's just take a quick look at the boots here. 24 defense, 20% increased summoning damage, 20% increased melee critical strike chance, 20% increased movement speed on the freaking pants, bro. Like, this armor is completely underrated. Do yourself a favor, check it out. Check out the Old One's army. It's great. But yeah. Alright, but yeah, guys, that is going to be it for this shorter video. I actually do have 2 other videos that are just like this one. They're each about like 13 minutes long. Same exact type of video. I don't usually repeat myself either, so completely different tricks and strategies and all that. But yeah, see you in the next one.